So this last segment isn't really something I particularly want to talk about, but it's something I sort of feel a need to talk about, and that is no. First of all, really, no one got into the Hall of Fame this year, which you can say what you want about that, but about no people getting in. But honestly, outside of the what I'll call for now the trouble group, and we'll get more into that later, the class wasn't that great. I still think Billy Wagner should get in. I still think Scott Rowland should get in. He's up to 18%, so he probably will. And I still think Helton should get in, but I think they're going to get in later down the line. I didn't really expect them to get in this year. Like I said, I didn't predict anyone to get in this year, so. But you can say what you want about how this being a joke, that the Raiders are trying to kill the MLB. Well, they elected more people in the last 7 years than ever, so I wouldn't really say that. But the biggest news is really probably about Curt Schilling, how he did not get in, and now he wants to be taken off the ballot. So basically, he said that he wants the Veterans Committee to vote him in, and that he hates all the writers and all the voters who don't vote for him, which is probably what's keeping him out, quite frankly. Like, I know a lot of people in the last week have said who voted for him originally, but saw what happened, how he responded to the Capitol rioting, and wanted him to take him off. So I suspect, I believe like at least 5 people will get into the Hall of Fame next year. I believe it'll be A-Rod, Ortiz, Schilling, as long as he is on the ballot, Clemens and Bond, since those last three are all going to be on their last year of the ballot. So, but for this year, we got to talk about why they aren't in. And for Schilling, it's just it's basically Twitter, quite frankly. Like I've said with those 3 guys multiple times, they are, without a doubt, no doubt about it, they're Hall of Famers, if you look at just the numbers. So, but other reasons have kept him out, which is kind of a shame, but you kind of have to understand it, I think, because it just sort of like, it's just his life. Like, it's tough for voters to go out there and vote for Curt Schilling, I think, when all he does is bash media members, like, literally all of the time. So, like, I mean, if you're a voter, it's tough to do that. Either way, though, Schilling is, like, so close to the Hall of Fame that if he stays on the ballot, I really think next year he'll get in. He's at 71.1% of the 75, so, like, if he stays on the ballot, he'll definitely get in next year. Bonds is at 62, so is Clemens. I think if they stay, they'll both get in next year, honestly, and it'll just be, like, a protest that he was kept off for the time he was. So, yeah, I mean, like, it's one of the stickier things in baseball, I think, but this is why we have the 10 years for the people to be voted in, so I think those 3 will get voted in next year. Obviously, these 3 are Hall of Famers, numbers alone, but unfortunately, this isn't like a video game where like nothing else happens. This is real life where a lot of these guys have done things that have given them negative impacts on their careers. I sort of see this as the opposite of A-Rod and David Ortiz. So, especially A-Rod, I'll say, so I'll use him as an example, but when A-Rod was a player, everyone hated A-Rod. We all know he's been busted for steroids twice, especially the second time was a huge offense where he was suspended for like over 100 games, if not nearly a whole season, if I believe. And then he had the incident where he slapped the ball out of Arroyo's hand that one time, I believe in the playoff game. So no one really liked A-Rod except for the fans of his team, really, and even that was sometimes a push. But ever since he's been out of baseball, I can't believe it. I almost like A-Rod. Like, it's enjoyable to listen to him, like, on ESPN, honestly. Like, even though he said to swing down at the baseball, that's not anything I'll ever get over, probably, because that's just not true. He was just so talented, he could swing whichever direction he wanted and it'd go out of the park, but that's besides the point. A-Rod and Ortiz, especially A-Rod though, have done a great job like bringing their careers back to life. Like we know A-Rod was hit. Ortiz has more uncertainty, but they've both been like models, citizens for the MLB ever since they've retired. Even before with Ortiz, but A-Rod ended on sticky terms, but he's done everything he can basically to strengthen his what should I call it? His like people's view on him. And now like I'd have to be kind of surprised if he didn't get in next year. Obviously, there's a chance with him or Ortiz they don't get in next year because of outside circumstances again. But they've done a good job like strengthening their people's views on them. Kershling has just done the opposite. I mean I wasn't really watching baseball at this point since I was like 4, but like when he was playing, like I believe like he probably wasn't. I don't believe he was the nicest guy, but like I don't believe anyone hated him. He was actually kind of like looked up to since for the bloody sock incident in 2004. But ever since he's come off the field, he's just like absolutely has tanked his people's view on him. So like it's tough for those voters to want to vote for someone they probably hate, quite frankly, especially when there's so many good names on the ballot. Now, no one got in, but Billy Wagner up to 46%. I really hope he gets in. Helen up to 45%. I really hope he gets in. Rollins up to 53%. I hope he gets in, but none of them will get in next year. With my prediction of 5 people getting in, there's almost no chance I think any of them get in next year. I think they'll all probably be like last couple years to get in people, but yeah, I mean, listen, I don't think it should be a pretty big deal, honestly, that no one got in. This happens. So many people have gotten in the last few years, and so many people will next year. Now, it's not ideal when you see 14 people left their ballots blank, but, I mean, it's kind of understandable since if you don't want to vote for the top 3, then I don't know who you'd really want to vote for on this ballot. It's not like we have a Derek Jeter, for example, but yeah, so that's what I have to say on this. Hopefully Schilling will just like stay on the ballot for next year, and then those 3 will probably all get in along with A-Rod and Ortiz. And then hopefully after that, it'll clear up a lot of space on the ballot for guys like Roland, Wagner, and Helton to get in their due time. Thanks everyone for listening. Have a great day.